Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty good Thursday morning to you as we come to you live from our G's Law Group studio in beautiful South Tampa. It's the JP Peterson Show. Thank you guys so much for jumping in today. We got a lot of big news to get to. Rays sale information is out there, or non-sale information is out there, depending on how you look at it, from the Tampa Bay Business Journal. We'll get into that. No sellout yesterday as the Rays blanked the Twins 5-0. What does that mean? We'll talk about that. And our good friend IndyCar Tim is with us here from our FanStream Sports DFW affiliate, and your dog is having a ball behind you. Absolutely having a ball with that toy. And it's not a squeaky toy, which is acceptable on the show.
It's not even my dog. It's my son's dog. Who
I was going to say, like, that's a new one, right?
And, yeah, he's my son's dog. He's that big, and he's only
Who's that?
4 months old, 5 months old. Yeah, he knows we're talking about it. What do you want?
Who is it? What's his name?
Leon.
The
dumbest name for a dog ever. I'm like, no, he's a Rusty. Like when he was a puppy, I'm like, he's a Rusty.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
Leon.
he's Leon.
Leon is not necessarily a typical dog name, but I love it. Lottie Wilkins lost my hat already in this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. You know how much I paid for this sucker? Nothing.
That's the best kind.
That was the promo the other night when we bought what'd we get? 4 tickets for $20 in the left field. Yeah, it's fantastic. And then we went to the day game the other day. It was hot. It was very hot. Very kind of a boring game, actually. Actually, it wasn't the day game. It was the night game we lost. It was a kind of a boring game, but the other ones have been good. So we'll talk some Rays baseball. We got all kinds of stuff to get into with the Bucs as well. Joey Johnston's going to join us, sideline reporter for USF. We're going to check in with him to see what's going on with USF after their spring season and the portal and everything. And Alex Golesh has got a good thing going. Couple of winning seasons, bowls in a row, and now they got to take the next step and win that AAC, and hopefully they can get that done. So we'll talk to Joey. Also, he's on the board for the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, along with myself, and we'll be talking about our event coming up next week as well. So now Scott Hamilton was set to join us from the SEC meetings today, but unfortunately, something has popped up in his schedule, so he won't be able to join us. I think I'm going to try to get a recorded interview with him right after the show today, so we'll play that tomorrow for you. We'll take you to the royalty of college football, where the SEC is laying down the law for the rest of the people as to what's going to go on with the playoff.
And no, B, it is not Scott Hamilton, the ice skater, but we could get Scott Hamilton, the ice skater.
We'd love to have him on.
We could have him on. He's very easily. I got him right here. Because what's funny is Scott Hamilton, the ice skater, did the intro for our Scott Hamilton's ESPN radio show. It was very cute and quirky. Hey, this is Scott Hamilton. Nice. Welcome to the Scott Hamilton show. No, not me. The other Scott Hamilton. It was really funny the way he worded it.
One of those iconic voices that goes with the sport, and you can't really watch the sport without it.
As soon as you hear it, you're like, it's instant credit, right?
Like if you're watching figure skating, you have to hear that voice. It's just otherwise, that does not fit. No. Yeah, absolutely. Very few announcers like that. Yep. He is definitely one of them, no question.
Keith Jackson, I would say, is one.
Keith Jackson with college football.
Whoa, Nelly!
Bud Collins at a Wimbledon or any major tennis championship. Yeah. Yep. That if you don't know who Bud Collins is, look him up. He was an absolute icon of tennis.
Iconic. Yeah.
Who else? Jim McKay in the Indy 500.
Oh my gosh! Or the Wide World of Sports.
Wide World of Sports
with his opening.
Yeah. And the three.
Vern Lundquist.
Vern Lundquist, absolutely. Gary Koch at TPC. Yeah, the voices that go with the events.
I mean, going way back, Howard Cosell in boxing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Howard Cosell in boxing, absolutely. And some of what we might call niche sports, that Tony Hawk obviously has to be at every skateboard broadcaster at X Games.
You know what? I don't think I've ever heard Tony Hawk speak.
Doesn't he do all the X Games stuff?
I don't watch that. I don't know.
No.
He might, but I don't. I don't even watch the Olympics. Why would I watch X Games?
Voices that define a sport. Go. All right.
Ooh. JP Peterson, women's college softball.
Indeed. You know, I'm going to brag a little. I was an all-pro at every sport in elementary school. Yep.
Elementary school kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And kickball.
PPL, Pro Padel League. I did that for a summer. That was fun.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
he brings up Mary Carrillo in tennis.
Mary Carrillo in tennis. Yeah,
good
definitely.
Yeah.
So keep bringing them. All right, let's get into the show this morning as we talk a little Rays baseball. Another great win for them. Now 7-2 homestand, nicely done. The Twins came in red hot. I mean, they had won, I think, 16 of 20 or 22, 12 in a row at one point. Really good team, and the Rays handled them. I thought they handled them really well. Won 2 or 3 yesterday. Gets the you get a 5-0 decision in the rubber game of the series against a good team, and you know the pitching has been fantastic. Drew Rasmussen has now reached 18 scoreless innings. 3 straight starts, 6 innings. Yesterday, he was virtually unhittable. And Lord, please have him stay healthy. For God's sakes.
Just crossing your fingers.
3, I think he's had 3 Tommy Johns. 3 Tommy Johns. And he comes back and pitches like this. I mean, the amount of rehab that goes into that, I can't even imagine. But he was fantastic yesterday. He is mechanically watching him pitch is really fun. Everything is so repeatable. It's very Nolan Ryan-esque. You know, it's just everything is on balance. It's like kind of watching a Ronda hit. You know, Ronda's that type of hitter. Yeah. Their mechanics are just so good. And when you watch Rasmussen pitch, that's what I get that feeling. He's so in control, knows exactly where the ball's going almost every single pitch. He's been phenomenal. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And in this run of 6, they've given up 3 or fewer runs in 6 straight games for a 1.16 ERA. Is that good?
Seems pretty low.
That's pretty good. And now Bilau's getting going. 6 home runs in his last 13 games. A career high 11-game hit streak for him. Caminero hit a bomb yesterday as well. He and I believe we have both of those. Do we not?
We do.
For the fans to enjoy.
We do. Which one would you like first?
Our friends, let's go Bilau first, chronologically, right?
There you go.
Got the guys going.
High shot back into deep right, and that baby is gone. Home run off the bat of Brandon Lowe, number 11, to extend his hitting streak to 11, and the Rays break out in front.
It says only 368 feet, but it was like they up in the boxes there. That was nice.
By the way, let me say this as an outsider who hasn't been to that stadium. Mm-hmm. That stadium looks really cool on TV.
I was going to ask you that.
Outfield setup looks really, really cool on TV. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we sat in the front row on the left field seats the other night, and man, it was like, you know, Castro I could reach out and take his hat off. Yeah. He was right there. And we saw a couple home run balls. Great vantage point. You can get those tickets for like $15-$20.
Dude, that is a steal, man.
Yeah, absolute steal. You can the secondary market is really, really affordable. So yesterday I think they announced like 8,500 tickets sold or whatever it was. It clearly there were a lot of empty seats. It was feels like temperature over 100 degrees at first pitch at 110. Now, of course, everybody has to get in my mention. See, Tampa doesn't support the Rays. Tampa doesn't support the Rays. I'm like, and Topkin put his daily attendance out, and he said the Rays have sold out 33 of 37 games. And people are like, see, that Tampa's not even supporting the team. I'm like, 33 of 37? By my math, that means only 4 games weren't sold out, and all of those are day games. I mean, before school even gets out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And folks, well, it's only a 10,000 seat stadium. Well, in a lot of these weekend games where the weather's been great, they could have sold 30 or 40,000 tickets, but they were limited. Yeah. Obviously. So when we have some games where you would only have 2,000 or 3,000 at the Trop, like this game yesterday, historically speaking, I'm not talking about tickets sold. I'm talking about butts and seats. Yeah, it's very much the same or better in Tampa. So
the announced attendance 8372.
Right.
But what people don't always understand in sports is that announced attendance is not the same as ticket sales.
Right.
They're completely two different things.
Right.
And all they care about in the club is ticket sales. If you don't show up, I mean, they want your concessions money too, but ticket sales is what they want.
Yeah, and they they've had a bunch of games where there's, they quote have a sellout and there's empty seats, and on those games, I'm sure there are people that didn't show up, but the tickets are sold. That happens. But also, when you see empty seats, it doesn't mean they're not there.
Yeah.
Tons of people walk around. I don't know about you, but I can't sit in my seat, especially if I'm in the sun. I can't sit in my seat for 9 innings. I got to get up and walk around. This park has a great 360. You can get up and walk around the entire park very easily, get great views from all different angles. Have a beer in right field, have a beer in left field, go to the different places. I mean, I don't sit in my seat all the time at a baseball game. I get restless.
Especially if you go to a lot of games.
Yeah.
You're going to want to get up, move around. You're not going to just sit in your same seat for every inning of every game.
Right. So I think listen, I don't think it's like, there's no support in Tampa. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I think the team has been very well supported. Most every game is full. It has a great vibe to it. I've been to a bunch of them, and I think it's fantastic. Is it going to get hot in the summer? Yeah, it is. And are people not going to want to go during day games? Yeah, they shouldn't have any day games during the summer. And I don't know how many more they have, but they shouldn't have any. And I know there's getaway reasons and all those things, but I think if you polled the players, they'd be like, yeah, we'll play at night and leave later. Because it gets brutal out there. It's so brutal that even some managers, their team, claims their team can't play, like John Snyder from the Blue Jays. It's too hot for his team.
Now you guys are dealing with what we have dealt with in Texas before 2020 when the new indoor stadium opened, or the retractable roof stadium opened, since 1972. It was we were sitting in the sun all summer, and in Atlanta they've been doing it
brutal
since they moved to Atlanta. And to a lesser extent, St. Louis, it doesn't get nearly as hot, but you're out in the sun. They don't have
it gets hot in St. Louis.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And if they play baseball in Nashville, like everybody's expecting, it's going to be hot in Nashville.
Hottest 4th of July I've ever been was in Nashville. Oh my God, it was like 107.
And there's a reason they don't want an outdoor stadium in Las Vegas, because there's a baseball stadium right now in Las Vegas at the minor league park, and they talked about the A's moving there to play in it, and they're like, no, it's hot here in the summertime. So they didn't do it.
Really, really hot. Yeah. So, yeah, it's uncomfortable. And, the new stadium is obviously going to have some type of roof or climate control. I mean, that's a must. So, but this is what it is for a while. And I just stop bitching about it, make the best of it, go enjoy the games at night, because they're fantastic.
Enjoy your outdoor baseball, because you guys don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, Christina, what is her name? Christina Georgakopoulos is a banking and finance reporter for the Tampa Bay Business Journal. And she wrote an article today that is behind a paywall, and I cannot see it, but a good friend, Danny, has put a couple of the quotes up on the Twitter machine. So we'll read from that. And basically the headline was, I get this correctly, Stu Sternberg. Oh God, where is it here? Basically, Sternberg has not told, or is not. Let me get the exact quotes here. All right. Okay, here it is. Sternberg has made no public comment to dispel rumors about a possible deal that has been simmering for nearly 3 months. Nor has he engaged the investor groups directly to state he isn't interested in selling the team, sources have told the Tampa Bay Business Journal. Okay, that's a lot to unpack there. So Sternberg has made no public comment to dispel rumors about a possible deal. So he hasn't talked about the rumors. So he hasn't dispelled the rumors that he's going to sell. Okay. So he didn't say, I mean, what does that even mean?
Is he supposed to?
Like, I guess I could. So, should he come out and say no? I'm not. He told the St. Pete Times he's not selling. The team's not for sale. Although myself, Jeff Passan, Buster Olney, Ken Rosenthal. Who am I missing? Ellen Drelich have all reported that the Rays are in talks with groups to buy the team.
Well, Rob Manfred sort of alluded to that.
That's
the commissioner.
Exactly. So the team is for sale. He is listening to people. Now he said Sternberg is yet to outline plans for a permanent home for the team, which is expected to return to the Trop next season after the completion of repairs to the hurricane-ravaged stadium. Okay, well, yes, he has not outlined a plan for a stadium. And Manfred asked him for that, 3 months ago? What's your plan, Stu? Still no public plan.
0 for 4.
Also in the piece, my man Danny Boy Kane, good follow on Twitter, said, while Manfred has voiced support for keeping the Rays in Tampa Bay, he and other MLB owners have still been open to meeting with the Dreamers. According to John Morgan, a member of the Dreamers, that piece also said that Manfred asked Stu, what's his plan? Yeah. The TBJ piece also says Sternberg has made no public comment to dispel rumors about a possible deal. Yeah. So basically what this story is about is he has said, and I can't read the whole story, so I don't know exactly what it is. And evidently then we'll send it to us. So thanks. So the sources are telling Christina that he hasn't talked to the people to say, no, we're not interested. So that means he's interested. So I don't know. I don't know the whole, I don't get this story. Basically, somebody is telling him that they haven't met with 3 of the groups, but there's still a 4th group, the one that we've been talking about, that they have met with. And the MLB is aware of them, and they're working on a deal. This is what I've been told. This is what Jeff Passan's been told. This is what Ken Rosenthal has been told. This is what we've all reported. So, I don't know what this story is about, except to say that he hasn't come out to dispel the rumors. No, he hasn't. No. Well, actually, he has, because he did tell the Times that the team's not for sale. So here's my feeling on the whole thing. It's a bunch of muckety muck. It's a bunch of nothing. Really, because he's not saying that he's not selling, but he's not saying that he's selling. So
by not grabbing headlines, he's grabbing headlines.
Right. I'm not quite sure what that means. Has made no public comment to dispel rumors. Nor has he engaged the investor groups directly to say he isn't interested in selling the team. So he hasn't gone to them and say, I'm not interested. He just hasn't, engaged with them, which is something we reported. Carter McCain is one of those groups. He came on the show. We asked him, have you talked to the Rays? No. Joe Malloy, have you talked to the Rays? No. They haven't had direct conversations. The group that I know of, the quote unnamed group, have they talked to the Rays? Yes, they have. I'm reporting that. Jeff Passan has reported that. Everybody's reported that. So, yeah, I still believe there are things going on behind the scenes. Again, there's a lot of noise from Orlando. No disrespect, but it's just noise. There's nothing there. There's no there. They haven't allocated public money. They haven't secured a site. All they have is people talking about, we want to buy the team, and here's some pretty pictures. Okay, that's great and fantastic and good luck, but it's not meaningful. Just because they're making noise doesn't mean there's, quote, something happening in Orlando. They just want to buy a team. So does Portland. They've passed public money to do so and have identified a site and have renderings. Other places, in North Carolina, they're further along than they are in Orlando. They just don't get up and yell and scream and say things every day. Because that's what Major League Baseball wants. Do your due diligence, get your stuff passed, show us where it's going to be, show us the amount of public money, who's your anchor investor, show us all that. And then when it comes time when we finally get done with this shenanigans with Sternberg and we get the public situation settled in Tampa with the new stadium where it's going to be and everything, then we can move forward with the expansion in these other markets. And sorry to say, when Tampa figures out where it's going to be and the team gets sold, in my opinion, Orlando's not going to be a candidate because you're too close and you're part of this market as far as Major League Baseball season. So if they have to choose between Tampa and Orlando, I think the choice is pretty obvious where they want to be. And it's obvious by what Manfred has said multiple times. So as far as the story goes, again, I haven't read the whole thing, but in the key clips that I've been sent, I don't see anything there. It's basically saying that he hasn't told the groups that he's not interested, and hasn't talked to 3 specific groups and there's another group that is interested. So yeah, he may not have talked to those 3 groups, but he did talk to this other one, according to multiple sources and multiple reporters. So I wouldn't say that, something has to happen. He's got to either sell the team or get a stadium deal here. And he's not getting a stadium deal here. He's not, because they're not. St. Pete doesn't want to work with him. Pinellas County doesn't want to work with him. And Tampa don't want to work with him. They all on the record have said that. So could that change? I guess, but I don't think it will. I think MLB would rather have new owners, new ownership, deeper pockets, people that are beloved and trusted in this marketplace, and would make great owners. Why wouldn't they want that, as opposed to what they have now?
Well, and isn't Tampa and St. Pete, that's considered one
Yes.
geographical market, right? Like Dallas, Fort Worth is together,
and
right?
including Sarasota,
Right.
Points north in Pasco County and Lakeland. This whole 7-county area is our media demographic, and it's the 11th largest in the United States and growing by leaps and bounds. It'll probably be in the top 10 in the next 2 or 3 years.
And way bigger than Orlando is by itself over
Way
there,
bigger.
right? With
Way
Lakeland
bigger.
and
I would say way big. The Orlando area is the 15th largest. But the idea is to capture both markets. Right. And by doing that, you're not going to put the stadium in Lakeland. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to put it in the better, more dense market, which is Tampa Bay and Tampa specifically. That's where it should be.
Think of it this way. They wouldn't put an NHL team or an NFL team in Orlando. They wouldn't do that. Neither league would allow that, because that's too close to their existing franchise.
Right.
Exactly. And leagues have franchise, boundaries, right? Like Jerry Jones owns whatever. That's why they could never put an NFL team in Fort Worth without his permission, because, and even down to San Antonio, that's been contested. People have wanted a NFL team in San Antonio.
Right.
Well, Jerry Jones owns that market. So, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just Orlando maybe could support a team better than they think Tampa can. It's way more to it than that.
And I don't want to get into all that, Orlando's a great market, and I want to pit Tampa against Orlando. It should be, hey, how can we help each other get more people to Magic games and get more people to Rays games and Lightning games and Bucs games? That's what it should be about. I mean, Orlando's a fine market, but when all of these Orlando people are coming at me, just telling me how terrible the Tampa market is, I'm just like, hey, man, you haven't been here. You don't know what we've dealt with. And it's a huge reason why people don't go to the games, this ownership group. It happens all over sports. And it's happening in Miami. It happens in a lot of different places where when the town sours on an ownership group, they're not going to support them. And then they need to be replaced. And that happened here with Vince Namoli. Right. And now it needs to happen with Stu Sternberg, in my opinion.
Rays fans deserve a good owner.
They do. They do. They really do. And they deserve a new stadium.
Yep.
And they deserve it being in a centrally located area. That's what most baseball programs have. Why can't we have that? Why can't we have nice things?
You can.
Yes,
you just
we
need
can.
an owner that will accommodate it.
Look at the Lightning. Look at the Bucs.
Yeah.
We can have nice things. It's all about ownership. So, and I don't want to make this all about Sternberg, because the team's playing well. It's really playing well. It's a game over 500 now. They're back in the mix. 6.5 back of the Yankees. Now they got to get it going. I mean, we've seen this. They've had a couple hot spurts, couple dead spots. It kind of looks like a 500 team, but Josh Lowe is back, and they put him at the top of the lineup. Yandy in the 3-hole, like that a lot better. They're starting to score more runs. Simpson obviously is a catalyst. I'd like to see him more at the top of the lineup, but I don't know why the hell they put him in the 6-hole. But I think I like Josh Lowe up there up top, better than Yandy Diaz. I like Yandy in the 3-hole, the 2-hole, 3-hole. And I'd go Simpson, Yandy, Lowe, J-Lo, Caminero. I'm sorry, Randa, Caminero. I mean, you stack those guys all together. That's a nice lineup. It's a really nice lineup, but we don't do it. I don't understand that. I just like that's my lineup. Or you've got guys in there that are red hot, obviously, in Brandon Lowe. You got to ride him right now. I mean, he does not sit. He does not sit. And Caminero getting a home run, a little inconsistent, but he's got that power.
Yeah.
And teams fear him, and you saw yesterday why. So this lineup's getting a little thicker. And when Hassan Kim comes back, or makes his appearance, I should say, which he's getting close, that adds a lot better bat to the shortstop position and also a Gold Glover. So that's going to be an upgrade, even though, Taylor Walls and Caballero played pretty damn good shortstop. And the defense has been outstanding, absolutely outstanding. That'll continue to play. And the starting pitching has seemed to come around. So this team is primed to make a run. Now, the downside, they're going to play a lot of road games in July and August, a ton of road games, which actually they play better on the road than they have at home. So,
they're at Houston tonight, and I'm sure they'll have the roof closed because it's hot as hell in Houston right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that a bad thing? I mean,
no.
Typically they may regress to the mean on the road, but pitching and defense travels. It travels. And I expect that should not fall off. So this team, look, they're right on the edge of a wild card, right? To me, this is a team that's going to hover around 500, but if they can make a little bit of a run, then the whole thing is, man, if they can keep Lowe and J-Lo healthy, and Kim can bring what he can bring, and Simpson continues to hit the ball and be a catalyst. Yeah, and and if they could trade for a big right-handed bat that plays left field, boy, they would really, really have a nice lineup and a good shot at it. And I'm talking about getting someone who makes money, going out and spending some extra money, adding payroll, let Neander go make a trade. He's got a surplus of pitching right now, which everybody wants, especially starting pitching. So I would think you would have enough ammunition to go get a really good outfield slugger, and that would complete your lineup right now. If you're asking me, Arand has been great at first base. Yandy's your DH. Lowe's getting hot at second. Hassan Kim at short brings a good offensive punch, or much better than obviously Taylor Walls. You got Caminero at short. Jansen's actually starting to hit behind the plate, and the Matt Face, who they just brought in, at least hits above 200. That's a plus. And then in the outfield, if you could add a slugger, and then you have Simpson, then you have J-Lo. So I mean, that's a good team. That's a good defensive team. That's that's a team that could have some jacks. But the key is to get a left fielder. And I know you got Mangum, you got Meisner. They're good players. I like what they bring to the table, so there's opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity here for this team to get consistent and get better. So,
well, and now's the time of the year you want to do that, because you don't want to fall too far behind the Yankees. You're 6.5 back now of the Yankees, still in second place. You're only a game or 7 games back. You've got a game up on Toronto. Boston's still kind of in the hunt. Baltimore's 16 games back. They're already out of it here. We're not even out of May yet. But whatever you're going to do, you need to look at doing it now, because you don't want to get 11, 12 games behind the Yankees
right
this early in the season.
Right.
And you have a chance to do that. Just like you said, that just need that little offense, and you have the capital to do it right now.
Yeah. If you're allowed to add payroll.
Right. We're all assuming, right?
No, but you should be allowed. I mean, let's go. This is a great opportunity. Stu, it's your last year as the owner. Go out with a bang.
No lineups yet.
To him, that's probably $100 million profit going out with a bang. But I would think that he'd want to win something on the way out. Why not? Go for it. Sign somebody and leave it to the next ownership group to pay him. Really? You don't even have to pay him yourself. Go sign some $40 million a year slugger Leave it to the
Sell the
next
team.
guy and then sell the team, right? You only got to pay half his salary. You might complete your team and win a World Series. And then on the way out, you can, give us all the
You know who did that in
salute.
sports? Do you remember that this happened recently? The Bolin family that owned the Broncos went out, traded for Russell Wilson, signed him to that massive contract,
right.
and then sold the team, remember? To the Walmart chick. And then she was like, yeah, this ain't working. She's the one that dumped him, or her group,
Oh, my God.
So there's precedent here.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Joey Johnston's going to join us, and we're going to talk some USF football, catch up with them, and what else is going on at USF. Joey knows all things USF. Also on the Sports Club of Tampa Bay board with myself, so we'll talk about next week Hall of Fame induction as well. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEVES They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So if you have any legal questions whatsoever, they will give you a free case evaluation at JeevesLawGroup.com. Also, we are brought to you by On-Site Construction and Restoration. They are our first hour presenting sponsor. That's OnSiteConstructionFL.com. If you need to restore your home, add something on, start from scratch, whatever construction you need, residential or commercial, they are the folks to do it. Great experience, 5-star reviews, honest contractor. Hard to find, but you got one in OnSiteConstructionFL.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Thursday as the Rays win. We'll talk a little Bucs later on, and we'll get to your incredible comments here. Sorry, I ignored you guys a little bit, but we'll do that at the top of the next hour. So,
by the way, we have a new feature we're testing out down here on the screen. I don't know if you can see it or not, JP. Yeah, that's a brand new StreamYard feature I was kind of trying out today. So
we can show the great comments on the screen.
Yeah, the new comments just come in real time on the screen there, and I don't know if I can change the size or location right now. It's just a brand new feature I thought we'd try out today.
Yeah, I like it. Good stuff. You're brought to you by the great folks at Gold and Diamond Source. Just a few days left in May to get that trade up value up to $5,000. Anything you have to trade in, they'll give you up to $2,500. They'll give you another $2,500 to get to $5,000 to spend. So trade-in time is there. If you've been looking to upgrade that diamond, now the time is to do it. Double the value at the Gold and Diamond Source. Just a quick trip from Tampa, or if you're in Pinellas County there, just roll on up 3800 Olmerton Road and online at goldendiamond.com. All right, let's bring in the USF sideline reporter and all things USF Professor Joey Johnston joining us here, also on the board of the Sports Club of Tampa Bay. What's up, Joey? How are you?
How you doing, JP? How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to next week, Wednesday nights.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be incredible. The Sports Club of Tampa Bay Hall of Fame banquet, maybe the best crew we've ever had for induction. Dick Vitale, John Cooper, Evan Longoria, a few days before he goes in for his official Rays retirement, will be inducted in the Hall of Fame. Rob Higgins, Terry Rupp, Dave Mishkin, the list goes on and on. It really is quite a class. Really excited about what's going to happen next week.
Legendary football coach Dominic Sayal, also on the list, correct? If I'm not
Absolutely.
mistaken.
From Berkeley Prep, longtime Jesuit assistant and head coach who won a state title at Berkeley Prep. So, when you write the story of high school football in Tampa and Tampa Bay, I mean, Dominic Sayal is going to be in the first chapter for sure. One of the real icons around here.
No question about it. And I love, like we've done many years, last year we had a great class too with Titus O'Neill and Bruce Arians and Aaron Andrews. I don't want to forget anybody. It was just an incredible night. And the speeches are fantastic. And you have those big stars, but we also, we love to add in the high school coaches and the college coaches as well that maybe aren't the national stars. And sometimes those speeches are the most memorable and heartwarming. Would you agree, Joey?
Oh, absolutely. And, I grew up here, JP, and I will always have a fondness in my heart for the hometown athletes, the hometown coaches. I mean, that's sort of a cottage industry here, particularly in baseball. All the guys that have gone on to the big leagues who have come out of high schools here. It's just ridiculous how many great players have come out of Tampa and Tampa Bay. And I think the same thing holds true for coaches and other sports. I mean, we treat our hometown athletes and coaches with a lot of reverence, and rightfully so, and they're most deserving of honors like this.
You mentioned the baseball fabric, Joey, and it's a great time to talk about that because you talk about, the Hall of Famers of Wade Boggs and Fred McGriff and Al Lopez, and then, the Tino Martinez's of the world. You start Pop Cuesta, right? Dominic Sayal in football, all these guys, but in baseball in particular, there is a fabric here. Because I was at the game the other day. I ran into 3 or 4 guys and that were, left-handed pitchers for 5 or 6 years in the majors. There's hundreds of those guys because baseball is in the fabric of Tampa Bay. You talk Doc Good and Gary Sheffield. I mean, we could go on, but it really is. I mean, it's like royalty here in town, is it not?
Yeah, and it's just something that keeps on going. I mean, we have the new generation, the Pete Alonso, Kyle Tucker. Jack Caglione it looks like he's going to the big leagues at some point this season, I believe. So we'll see him more sooner than later. So and we have Jamie Arnold at Florida State, who's going to be a top 5 draft pick from Jesuit. So the list keeps growing. It never stops. I came along at a really great time when I started writing for the Tampa Tribune. I used to cover a lot of high school baseball, and there was a guy from USA Today that was writing a story on why Tampa had so many great players, and he was directed to me, to talk to me about it, and he said, let me get this straight. Now you were covering a game once where you saw Dwight Gooden pitch to Fred McGriff. You saw that, and I go, yeah, lots of times. And he goes, well, what was that like? And I said, that's Tuesday in Tampa. And that became my quote, I think. But it really was. I mean, it was special, but it was just what happened. It wasn't out of the ordinary, but it certainly was special.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that, Kyle Tucker, good friend of the show, I played golf with him a couple months ago, and he said, I'd love to play in Tampa. But, I can't play at the Trop because I have to, ice down my knees every time I play there.
Yeah.
No position player wants to play at the Trop. That's one of the reasons. Plus you don't get paid.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about Kyle Tucker. I think he's going to be at the very, very top of our list. I mean, he's got so much runway ahead of himself in the career, and his numbers are going to be crazy by the time he's done.
I mean, he arguably the best player in baseball, top 5 player in baseball. You can have your arguments, but and he's going to get paid a lot of money in this offseason as well.
Oh yeah.
And you look at what Alonso has done as well with the home run derbies and being a home run champion. I don't know if we've ever had someone from Tampa Bay be the lead the league in home runs as much as Fred has done in his time.
Fred actually did do that, and it was weird because it was one of those years where it was like in the 30s that led it. It was an unusual year. But we certainly had guys who contended. But Pete Alonso is going to be a guy that stays healthy. He's going to hit 500 plus home runs and be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, and again,
Leano may pass them both.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what? Which
your connection fell out a little bit there, Joey. Hopefully it comes back here in a second.
Mm-hmm. Cell phone hill.
We're waiting. God, can we not get this figured out in America here? Can we not just get cell phones to work in a major population center? All right, let me see. We're far from done with Joey, so I'm going to get him back on the line.
Yep, definitely.
I'll get him to jump out and come back in. While we do this,
we can talk a little USF football if you want, since we're kind of on par here. Chances you think of them winning the AAC? Because I see 3 pretty key matchups for them next year that they've got to get past. One, North Texas over here in my neighborhood. The second game on their schedule I would see would be Memphis, and then third, probably Navy. Those are your 3 big keys, I think, for them to get past for a shot at the AAC.
And those are very winnable games. Very winnable games. All of them.
Yeah.
And if USF wants to do what they want to do, move on to a bigger conference, they got to do it. They got to win a conference title, and this year hopefully is the one to do that.
And you got to beat the North Texases of the world.
Yeah. Joey, are you there? Joey, are you there?
Joey, do we have you?
Joey, do we have you? I told him to jump out and come back in, so hopefully
he's in, but we still can't hear him.
All right. Hopefully he can pop back in.
Is he driving through the Holland Tunnel in New York?
Maybe. No, I think he was. I don't think he was going anywhere. But hopefully we can get him back in. Anyway, I listen with Byron Brown as your quarterback, and he's got to be better, obviously. But this is his third year in the system. It's Golish's third year. Their recruiting has been really good in terms of bringing in portal players. Now they've had to go through more of it than maybe they want to, but I think with this schedule and what they've been able to accomplish in the first couple of years, the third year should be the year for Alex Golish, and I think I'm super excited about this season coming up. Super excited, and I think they can make a run, and if they can win this conference championship, and then who knows, you might be that team getting in the playoffs if they could do that, boy, and it's doable. It's really doable for this. All right, let's add Joey in now.
Try him again.
Joey, are you there? Joey, can you hear me? There he is.
Oh, we've got him on video now.
Yes. We've got you on video too.
Oh, we still can't hear him.
Still can't hear you. Oh man, still can't hear you for whatever reason. Whatever reason. All right. Barely hear you.
Okay.
Nope.
Hold on. Got me.
Now maybe. That's better. That's better. That's better. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Okay. So we were speaking of the Hall of Fame and all the great baseball folks, and now we've moved into our USF talk, which was one of the reasons we wanted to have you on there. You were at the spring game. I know Byram didn't play, but what does this team look like in terms of the increase in talent, which I think is something that Golish has done a great job across, especially in the trenches. What do you think?
Yeah, the funny thing is, since the spring game, there's been, I don't know, probably more than 10 new players that have been added in the transfer portal. So I feel like I know the team, but in some ways, I'm not sure I do know the team, especially on defense. They've got so many ads and so many quality guys that I think they're going to be on the two deep that we haven't experienced yet. So the long and short of it, I think, is this will be a better team than last year, particularly if Byron Brown comes back healthy and regains his form of 2 years ago. And to the question that was posed immediately, yes, this is a team that's very capable of winning a conference championship. This is year 29 for USF football. Lots of great accomplishments, but one still not there, the conference. And that let's get our story straight here. That has got to happen next. That's the big milestone. Somebody's got to raise a trophy for this program to move to the next level. But my attitude toward it is kind of, if not now, when. I mean, you've got Byron Brown, you've seemed to have addressed the defense in the transfer portal and gotten some big time players in different spots. Running back is still very much a big question, but I think offensive line, receiver, all very good. If they can win the big games, as mentioned before, Memphis, Navy, some of the others, yeah, for sure, they can win a conference title. The asterisk, or the thing that people are going to need to watch, this team could start 0-3. I mean, that could happen. Boise State, at Florida, at Miami. Now, hopefully that won't be 0-3 because that's a tough hole to climb out of. But again, let's say things do not go well in any of those games. That still does not deter their ability to win a conference title. If they could win 2 of those games, let's say, then they could really be in business for big things this year.
No, absolutely. The Gators, that's going to be a tough ask. They've got a phenomenal team. Miami, who knows with Miami? Catch them at the end of the season, you got a much better chance.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you'd rather play them in November.
Yeah.
But they'll be playing against DJ Lagway and against the new Miami quarterback from Georgia. Obviously, these guys are on the top of the list. Boise State will not have their running back Ashton Jenney, who's in the NFL, but boy, they'll have talent galore. I want to say, man, Boise State coming down in August, a sticky night. That's going to be tough weather, but I do remember Boise State coming down and handling Florida State once upon a time back in Tallahassee. So I think they're going to be able to play in the weather just fine.
Yeah, I think that gets a little overblown at times. Both teams got to play in it, that's for sure. What about Byram? Obviously, he's the injury last year, much discussed. He didn't play in the spring game. What are your thoughts of what you saw in spring practice from him?
I mean, he looked okay. He looked normal. I think he's back. It's one of those things that's certainly it's physical, but it's also mental. I mean, he hadn't played live action in forever, I'm sure he's feeling a lot of self-induced pressure to come out and put up numbers again. So I think he's it's going to take him maybe a game or two to kind of get fully acclimated again. But the Byron Brown that we saw in 2023, whether it was throwing the ball or running the ball, he was fantastic. Maybe one of the better quarterbacks USF's ever had. So if he can pick up where he left off there, the USF has a chance to score a ton of points. The question will be, can they stop the other team from scoring a ton of points? Because we have seen a lot of defensive breakdowns. We've seen some good defense, but we've seen some bad defense as well. That has to get cleaned up. You cannot just routinely allow 40 points to your opponent and expect to win. And so they've got to get that fixed. And they certainly have added a lot of good players on paper to do that, to put a pass rush up. They've got a ton of guys in the secondary. They've got veteran linebackers. I'm expecting the defense to be a lot better. It needs to be a lot better for the Bulls to do what they want to do.
No question about it. Joe, your connection's going out again, so we'll bid you adieu. Thank you so much for jumping on with us, and look forward to seeing you next week, next Wednesday night at Higgins Hall, the Sports Club at Tampa Bay Banquet. It's going to be great. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks, JP.
Appreciate it. I can't wait for that event, and also USF football. I mean, I want to see the stadium packed, and the home schedule is not, and that's just part of being in the conference. Let me check out their USF's home schedule. I just remember seeing it going. It's tough to compete because, you've got not only do you have the other professional franchises around here. In September, the Rays will still be playing. In October, the Lightning start up, and obviously the Bucs are as well. So it's, you're competing with all those teams to get, for those ticket dollars.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. Obviously.
I have their schedule here if you want it.
Yeah. Let's rip through it.
Open up against Boise State.
That's a 5:30 game, August 28th.
Yep.
At Ray J.
It's going to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
Then at Florida, at Miami.
Yep. At Florida, at Miami. Wow. If you could come out of that 1-2, right, yeah, if you got to come out of that 1-2, honestly, that's awesome. That's going to be any one of those three games are going to be huge wins. Obviously, the Boise State game will be the easier of the three, but Boise State's really good. They're really freaking good. They're super well coached, and they're good. But they have relied on Ashton Genty a lot, and they'll have to figure it out without him. I'm quite sure they will, but maybe first game of the season there'll be some growing pains. So, let's hope.
I don't know what to expect out of Boise with Genty gone, I'll be honest with you. Then you've got 2 straight home games, the only 2-game homestand of the entire season.
Yeah, so you got South Carolina State.
Yep.
Got to win that. UNC Charlotte 49ers got to win that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can come out, if you're 2-3 at that point, you're fine. If you're 3-2, you're in great shape. If you're 2-3, it's okay. It's okay because you got to win your conference. That's what it's all about. Then you're at North Texas.
That's going to be a loss.
In Denton, Texas. The Mean Green.
Denton, right down the road. I may be at that game, JP. I may just go to that game because that's a beautiful stadium. And look, last year the Mean Green led all of college football with almost 500 yards of game per offense. However, their defense was ranked 127th in the country. They got no defense, and they can score, though. Chandler Morris, great quarterback, used to go to Texas Tech. Got bounced by Baron Morton, their current quarterback. But big-time offense. I don't know how improved their defense is going to be this year. But if USF's got any chance, they're going to have their offense in tow here in Denton.
Yep. All right. So then they got FAU in Tampa.
Yep.
So your home games are Boise State, South Carolina State, Charlotte, FAU. Not exactly
no
marquee matchups.
No, UTSA.
Then UTSA. You go to Memphis, so that's a tough one on the road. And you got you at Annapolis, another tough one.
Yep.
So most of their tough conference games are on the road. And they got UAB at UAB.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you end the season with Rice at home. So
it's a tough schedule, especially the road matchups.
The road matchups are hard. They really are. Brutal. Yeah. All right. You want to get to some of the great comments we have coming in today?
Yeah. You want a memorial update real quick while you're planning those?
Yes, please.
Ricky Fowler just bogeyed the 12th to drop to 2 under alongside Ben Griffin and Victor Hovland. Austin Eckroat at 1 under, Shane Lowry at 1 under. Everybody else is even, JP. As I watched everybody tee off this morning, we went 6 full holes of players. Everybody was at even. Nobody birdied a hole until, the course is brutal today. It's super wet. The fairways are super soft. As they said on the broadcast, the rough is brutal. Of course, they've got the air machines there on the green, so those are going to dry out pretty nicely and it'd be completely different than the rest of the course. So everybody's going to have a tough time, I think, today. The afternoon tee times will probably have a little bit better. They'll probably score a little bit better if the sun comes out, but right now the sun is not out and the scoring is brutal. Ricky Fowler, Ben Griffin, Victor Hovland all at 2 under.
All right. Thank you for that update at the Memorial. I forgot to get my bets in again, but I can still do it.
Yeah, you can still do it.
Kenneth McClary says, good morning, JP and Tim. I got to say, if Brandon Lowe keeps hitting, he's going to find himself another team before the All-Star break. We can't do that, right?
Maybe it'll be the Rangers.
We
need some offense.
Him. So did I read yesterday that we traded for Kyle Gibson?
I did see a trade. Is that who it was?
Is that true?
Signed on a minor league deal.
Signed on a minor league deal.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So we're adding pitching? I don't think we need pitching.
Yeah, you want his 2025 stats with the Orioles? 0-3, 16.78 ERA.
I think we're good.
10 strikeouts and a 2.92 whip.
Okay. So minor league deal, no real investment in that. Didn't give up anything. So
yeah, I'm not sure what the point of that was. He's 37 years old too, by the way.
The only thing I can think is that they're looking at a bigger deal where they're getting rid of some starting pitching and getting a slugger, like I thought.
And they would include him?
Well, not include. He would, they would get rid of, go find who are the highest paid pitchers that we have, starting pitchers. Find out. That's all you got to do. Just go see who makes the most money, and they're the next ones out. It's not hard. It's fairly quite easy to figure out deals are coming from. Although I'm still shocked that Yandy. Well, it probably weren't a lot of takers for Yandy at $10 million. Daniel Rivera said, "Here's a snippet from the TBBJ article. Sternberg has made no public comments to dispel rumors about a possible deal that's been simmering for nearly 3 months." So he's saying he didn't say anything this week that the team might be sold. I don't
know what to think of that. Like, what do we do with that? Not information.
I don't know. I haven't read the whole article in context, so I can't really, but from what the clips you guys have given to me, I'm like, what does that even mean? So he hasn't dispelled rumors that the team's up for sale. Okay. That's good because that means it's still for sale, right? I think it's a triple negative there. Is that a triple negative?
By the way, JP, your highest paid pitchers on your Tampa Bay payroll right now, Zach Littell at $5.72 million.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Fairbanks, $3.8 million.
So Littell is the highest starter at 5 point. And what does this contract go to next year? That's another key piece. What's that? He's off the books. He's off the books. Okay. So
yeah, this is it for him.
So really don't even have anybody about to make a lot of money.
But beware, because your highest paid player on the team, your second baseman, Brandon Lowe, makes $10.5 million a year, and he's going to be the first one to go.
Well, get him on a hot streak, right? Because we can always replace him with Curtis Meade. I mean,
JP, your two highest players on your payroll make $10.5 million a year and $10 million a year. Those are the two highest paid players on the payroll.
What a joke! That's Yandy. That's Yandy and Bilau.
Yes,
and then
Chandler Simpson's on the books at $670,000.
That's a deal, right?
Yeah.
And after taxes, that's like below poverty line.
You know how much Rortvet was making?
I don't know, but somebody said that they saw him at the Four Seasons in Miami the day after he got cut. I'm like, that's where I'd be spending Stu's money if I got cut.
You know why he can afford the Four Seasons? Because he was making almost $1.2 million a year.
Wow. $1.2 million to hit 088. Golly. And it took us 2 months to cut him. 2 months.
It's a head scratcher.
Yeah. Lonnie, that hat was waiting for JP and Stu's private suite. Yes, it was. I went up and grabbed it. Paragraph continues from the article. Nor has he engaged the investor groups directly to state he isn't interested in selling the team. Nor has he engaged to directly state that he isn't interested in selling the team. So he hasn't gone to them and said, I'm not interested in selling the team.
I have a headache. I feel like we're caught in a time vortex or something. A wormhole.
So he hasn't dispelled the rumors, and he hasn't told them he's not selling, according to sources. So what are you telling me? It's for sale.
What's the story? Like, what's the news line here?
I don't know. I mean, one of the first headlines, they kind of since changed the headline, was that he hasn't spoken to 3 groups that are interested. Well, we told you that. We told you that there are 4 groups that have been identified now. There's one, quote, unnamed group that has made MLB's preferred group. And that's the one that's been involved in the most serious talks.
Right.
So if he hasn't talked to the other 3 groups, that may be accurate. And it may be absolutely meaningless because they're talking to the one group that really has the money and is favored by Major League Baseball. So that could be part of what's going on here. But again, it is interesting. Every time somebody does a story, even one like this, it goes viral. It goes crazy. Like, headline, he's not said he's not selling, and he's not gone to the people and said, I'm not selling.
It's a quadruple negative.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're good. And I invited the young lady here to come on the show today. She said she's not available today.
Of course. Wait, did she say she's not available, or did she fail to confirm that she is available for not being available to be on the show, but not today?
Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. Nathan Elliott says, I have a bull mastiff pit mix rescue dog named Pierre. He's anything but a dainty little pooch weighing in at 102 pounds.
Oh, it's all about
All right, we need pictures. We love dogs here. We got to have pictures.
Oh, yeah, send us some pictures, Nathan. I
want to see Pierre. Who names his dog Pierre? Of course, who named his dog mastiff? Leon?
God, I'm going to tell my kid when he gets back from a stupid camping trip that everybody on the JP Peterson show voted Leon the stupidest dog name in the history of ever. Yeah, we were watching F1. We were watching Monaco Sunday morning, and of course Lando Norris was on the broadcast and on in the race. And Zach goes, "I didn't know there were real people named Lando. I thought it was just Lando Calrissian."
Well, yeah. Well,
I'm like, well, they got the name.
Everybody names. Somewhere. Yeah, they all name their Star Wars names now.
And I said, maybe that's a better name for the dog, Lando Norris. Let's just call him Lando Norris.
Yeah, I like that.
I used to have a dog named Ginger Baker.
Ginger Baker?
Drummer for Cream.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The only Ginger I know is from Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island. Were you a Ginger guy or a Marianne guy?
Definitely Ginger.
Oh, see, I was Marianne.
This star.
I mean, I wouldn't have said no to either one, but.
You like the professors or no, the Thurston Howell the Thirds.
I liked Lovey.
Lovey.
By the way, here's a gut punch for you, JP. Do you know how old he was when he was playing Thurston Howell the Third?
How old?
Like 50.
50?
He was like 50.
50?
Yeah, he looked like I was a little kid. I thought he was 100.
Yeah. You can't talk about Thurston Howell the Third without speaking like him.
Jim Backus, the great Jim Backus, Natalie Schaefer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wonder how many.
What a cast! What a cast! Thomas Casper says sources say Tampa Bay Rays longtime owner has declined to entertain talks with 3 investor groups that have emerged as bidders for the team since March. That's right, because he's talking to another one that actually has the money. Mary Carrillo, we asked earlier, like names that are iconic or voices that are iconic with their sport. John Miller on Sunday Night Baseball, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, right?
Tennis, yeah.
I missed the John Miller.
If
John
only-
Miller was the TV guy for the Rangers way back in the early 80s. Worked with our Norm Hitzkiss.
Yes, that's
on the
right.
Rangers broadcast back in the day, yeah.
John Miller, along with the great Joe Morgan.
Joe Morgan, man,
LG
that was a
from
pair.
Back Bell Park in San Francisco. Yeah, what a pipes on that guy. Woo, the best.
I would put the John Miller, Joe Morgan baseball duo up against the Gary Thorne, Bill Clement hockey duo. Any day.
Iconic again.
Both
iconic
of them, yeah.
again, yeah. Mean Gene in WWF. Absolutely. Gordon Soley in Florida Championship Wrestling.
Well, for all that's worth, how about here in North Texas, we had the great Bill Mercer with World Class Championship Wrestling. Yeah. I mean, he just passed away, by the way, age 99. I had a chance to go in and talk to him about 3 years ago. Me and Norm got to go in and visit him at his facility. You know, he was the KRLD, our local radio reporter, the day Kennedy was shot.
Oh, that's where I know that name from. Okay.
We got all the stories. He worked a full 24 hours after that and he was the one that actually told Oswald that he was being charged with the president's murder. He didn't know.
Are you kidding me?
Until Mercer broke it to him, yeah.
And is that when he said, I'm a patsy?
No, that was later. That was after he'd had time to digest all of it. But he said Bill was there in front of the media, you know, at the time, what it was in the little hallway, you know, and he said,
oh, when Ruby was shot?
Yeah, you're right. But before, yeah, but
when Ruby shot him,
he said, that was in the parking garage. This was in the hallway right outside of that. But he said, you know, what's your response to being charged with the murder of the president? And he was like, I haven't. First, I've heard of that. I haven't been charged with that. And they're like, yeah, you have. So he was the one that broke it to Oswald. He'd been charged with the murder of Kennedy.
Yeah,
that was a crazy time, man. So we have a podcast for those of you that are.
Does he believe that in the magic bullet theory?
Oh no, he always said that's no way it went down the way everybody said it did. He was a firm believer. And actually, we did a show on this. Norm did a 2-part with Bill Mercer talking about his time in the Navy in World War II and the Kennedy thing. And then the second part was him covering wrestling. Oddly enough, he was also the head of the broadcast journalism department at North Texas. So for a long time. So that's how his tie in here to Dallas. But anybody go look that up if you're interested in that. TJ Reeves and I talked for hours and hours and hours about that episode because he was a big Mercer guy.
I'm gonna go watch that episode.
Yeah, it's on the Norm. Just go to fanstreetsports.com, click on Norm's show and scroll through them. It was back in October, November, probably of 2023 that we did that. So just go find it. But do both of those episodes with him or with Bill Murray. It was all full video. We were in his little living room at his where he was staying for because he was 99 or 97 at the time. But it was really cool. It's a great interview. It was a great discussion, man.
That's crazy. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to all the rest of these comments. We got a ton of great comments here I want to get to. And don't worry, Daniel Rivera, there's nothing concerning in this piece that I've seen so far that I can decipher. Anyway, we're brought to you by the great folks in our first hour by On-Site Construction and Restoration. OnSiteConstructionFL.com is the website. If you're looking for a new home and you want to build from scratch, they are the folks. If they want to add on something, which takes a whole separate job of skills, folks, don't leave that to just some fly-by-night carpenter who's going to give you a good price. It's very intricate. It needs to be done the right way. OnSiteConstructionFL.com is the website. Go check out all the great pictures, the 5-star reviews, and find out what it's all about. They'll give you a free consultation. OnSiteConstructionFL.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. You know, we told you about the amazing Diamond Savings Account where your diamond never loses its value. Well, now, through the end of May, the Gold and Diamond Source will double your trade-in value up to $2,500. Just bring in your jewelry to trade, and your $2,500 piece turns into $5,000. It's time to upgrade that ring, earrings, whatever. We have gemologists on site to make the deal. Double your trade value up to $2,500. Gets you $5,000 to spend. So go through your jewelry box and get that stuff you never wear and get something new and stylish that you're going to love. Great experience, and we will double your trade-in now till the end of May. We can finance you as well. No interest for 5 years. Only at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldanddiamond.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by our great friends at Riveters. There the other night for our giveaway. I haven't heard from Brendan yet.
Wonder if he survived.
Yeah.
It was a win, too. You got him a win.
Brendan, if you're out there, go ahead and hit us up in the comments. We got his phone number. We can get him on.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like you did last time. Although it's fine. Anyway, Riveters is the place.
Do we want to?
I do, actually. I want to hear from him. He's a funny dude, man. What a great guy. If you weren't there, so Riveters, we did the Rays pregame show on, what was it, Tuesday night, before we went to the game. And and we had a little, if you want to play it, we can.
Hey, just played in his book. Hot as hell. Shot 90. Fuck it. That's right, baby. Gonna go see Stu. But just sell the fucking team, fool. We don't need you. Get out of Tampa. Take your ass what to fucking Canada.
All right, I need to edit. I'm getting uncomfortable with this. I need to edit it. My butthole's puckering a little bit.
By the way, the beat provided in the background is yours truly.
By JP. Yeah, that guy right there.
Beatbox.
Boom, boom, boom.
I thought it was pretty good.
First time ever, right?
I think our collab was fantastic, actually, when you put it all together so quickly. Yeah, I think it worked out well. I don't think we're going to get a record deal anytime soon. But
well, the worst part of the cussing was at the end of the show when you gave him the microphone yet again, and he wouldn't put it down
from our platforms.
That was little.
That was a little over the top, even for me.
Yeah, it was a little awkward.
It's a little much, but I think he'll behave himself when he comes on. Maybe it's morning; he's not hammered yet.
Yeah, maybe he won't be 11 shots in.
I hope.
That's my job.
All right, a couple Bucs notes. So, totally gratuitous self-promotion here, but I'm honored to be one of the media members that has been asked to pick the Bucs 50th anniversary top 50 players team. So They sent me the ballot yesterday. I'm going to share my ballot with you guys when I get done with it. So, and I'll take all types of, whatever you guys think. Who are your top 50? If you have a top 50 list, and I'm not even sure how to do it. Like, I was going to go through it and just like do, like, okay, these guys are absolute ins. Like, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being like you're absolutely in. I'll just go down and rank them. And I'll probably that's got to be 25 guys right there, right? 25, 30.
You would think
more that are just absolutes, got to be ins.
Can I ask you about one player? And you don't have to say yes or no, he's on your list, but just if you would consider him.
Sure.
I've always been curious about where Ricky Bell stands with the fandom.
I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on exactly because his career was cut short by injury. But he was a big name. He was like one of the biggest names they had early on.
He played, 5 years in Tampa and then a year in San Diego after that. But I mean, he was like maybe the first star of the team, right? After they were founded.
Yeah.
I mean, when did Doug Williams? He wasn't there until
Doug was there. Doug, I believe, came in 78.
Okay.
I think he was drafted in 78. So they had Leroy, Doug, Ricky Bell, Jimmy Giles, all the, obviously Leroy's in, Ricky Bell. Yeah. I would think I got to go back and look at his numbers, but I would think, I think he would be in there. Top 50 players.
Right. Just curious. I've always wondered where he stood because he was such a flash in the pan, and didn't last too terribly long, 3,000-yard rusher for his career. He only had 1,000-yard season.
They were so bad those first couple of years, though. Those offensive lines were horrific.
They were.
Yeah. He was the offensive line and the running back. Just got abused. So other quick note here from our friends at JoeBucksFan.com. They had a clip on Chris Sims shocked that Hassan Reddick was MIA. Sims said on PFT, quote, "I don't understand why Hassan Reddick wouldn't go to OTAs. Hopefully he shows up. Listen, I know he's a veteran player. He's been around the league a little bit. It's not imperative, but when you come off a year when you didn't really play a whole lot, you held out from the Jets. I don't think you took the right approach there. Yeah, I was surprised to hear he wasn't in Tampa. Tampa obviously, made a little nice investment for a guy that, did sit out last year and screwed over the Jets in a lot of ways.
I don't disagree with a lot of that.
No, I don't either.
And I don't normally agree with former Bucs quarterback Chris Sims and his spleen.
Yeah. OTAs are not mandatory, but as Florio pointed out, the Bucs could have had a workout bonus written in Reddick's contract, but there was no such bonus.
Right. And I brought that up yesterday with Scott that, if they really, really wanted him there, they probably would have thrown something in there saying, here's an extra $100,000 if you come to voluntary OTAs, but they didn't. So to me, I don't think they quite care as much, or maybe they have an understanding already. We don't have to know about it.
Well, maybe that's why you got him on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
He obviously wanted a longer term deal, but I don't think teams were lining up. If somebody else was going to give him a longer term deal, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, not after what he pulled with the Jets. And while, it was a bad situation, he did not handle it well sitting out the first 7 games of the season, or the first 10 games of the season, whatever it was. So, he didn't handle it. It was a bad look for him. Then you go in and you get 1 sack for the season. And you by the way, he did turn down, the Jets wanted to keep him. He did turn down deals during the season, long-term deals he just did not want to play in New York. So he's where he wants to be. We've talked about this before. He's where he wants to be. And yes, it was a 1-year deal, but it's like what, $14 million guaranteed? Like it's not a small investment. So I kind of feel like Jason Light and the Bucs did their homework on this. And I feel like in the end, we're going to find out this is just a non-story.
Yeah, I agree.
By the
That's
way,
going to be something that was previously planned. The fact that he's been in the building for phase 1 is good. So he's been there.
Yep.
He just wasn't there for this particular practice. Maybe there's family obligations. And if he misses 1 or 2 OTAs, but he's there for, 8 other voluntary workouts, then that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
A non-story.
It's just, maybe that it was the day that the media were there, right? It was, the first day that some veterans were there, and he wasn't the only one that missed. So I would say the Bucs aren't thrilled about it, but I don't think they're pushing the panic button.
By the way, you know who else missed their voluntary OTAs up in Cleveland is Myles Garrett. And do you know where he was? He was in Japan buying a house instead of being in OTAs, voluntary OTAs.
Does he have some connection to Japan?
No freaking idea.
House in Japan?
I have nothing I could find, but yeah, he was in Japan buying a house instead of being. Of course, if anybody's got skins on the wall, right? It's Myles Garrett.
I don't even want guys like Tristan Wirfs. I don't even want you there. Like it's
no. And look, here's the point of a lot of these voluntary OTAs very early. It's introducing formations. It's introducing very light scheme work. The veterans don't need that. And the less veterans that are there, that's more attention the coaches can pay to the younger players who need that instruction, right? So to me, that's why it's voluntary. I just don't think it's a big deal. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either. Not at this point. But if it continues, then yes. If he just shows up at the mandatories, that's not cool.
We'll see. You know what? If he goes on and he's leading the league, like I said yesterday, in sacks in December, then nobody will care and we won't even remember.
All right, back to the comments.
By the way, Chris Sims, top 50 of all time. Bucs, yes. Top 50.
Who's that?
Chris Sims.
I love you, Chris, but I don't know. Said, while Manfred has voiced support for keeping the Rays in Tampa Bay, he and other MLB owners have still been open to meeting with the Dreamers. That's a nothing. It's a nothing burger. They're going to meet with anybody who's, interested in investing in Major League Baseball. And why would you not? Why would you not? That doesn't mean they're moving to Orlando. That's not, but if you guys want to keep picking up the crumbs, feel free to do it.
By the way, he could be meeting with ownership groups that are based in Orlando that have no interest in moving the team.
Yeah. It may, people that want to be part of the new group. As I told you before, part of this process is taking certain investors that are in one group, say the Malloy group or the Connor or the Carter McCain group, and then moving them over to the preferred group and say, hey, this group's not really going to get it. That's not going to work. But we have this other group over here that's pretty close. Would you like to be part of that group? So that's something that baseball has done before. So, and that could be part of the process going on right now, I've been told. So that, again, if the three groups, we told you even when we had Carter on that they are not the preferred group at this time.
Right.
They could turn into that. And the same with the Malloy group. It's because you haven't heard much from them, because that's why they haven't been invited to the real table yet. So, but they can't be, cherry picking some of their investors. Voices that define the sport, the John Madden, says Nate. Obviously.
There you go. Yeah. Pat Summerall, if you want to throw him in there with John.
Pat Summerall and Joe. Pat Summerall and John Madden are the soundtrack of my youth. As far
Football
as
youth, yeah.
goes.
Heck yeah.
Boxing and Michael Buffer, of course. Let's get ready to do something. I don't want to get sued. Marv Albert. You guys. WFLA reporting this morning, St. Petersburg officials are considering multiple contract changes to raise the budget for repairs at Tropicana Field.
By the way, Marv Albert's not dead. Why did he put RIP?
Yeah.
He put RIP.
Toupee's still cooking.
Yeah, he's still going. 80-something, 83.
Contract changes to raise the budget for repairs at Tropicana Field.
Oh, that's bad.
I'm sure they want to spend that money, don't they? Really bad. Instead of on storm water
remediation.
No. WFLA report adds that next week they'll discuss adding millions of dollars to help salvage the stadium and clean it out. That means to me that the negotiations for a settlement, shocking development, negotiating a settlement with Stu Sternberg has hit a dead end. Shocking development. Council members are set to discuss nearly $3 million in additional funding for metal panel repairs and replacement. Wow.
Metal panels where? On the roof?
I don't know. But next week they're scheduled to meet to vote on these repairs. We told you about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know specifically what they're voting on, but that tells me that they haven't been able to reach a settlement agreement, so they're going to have to go ahead and repair the trout. And this is just part of Sternberg, basically his leverage to say that I'm not selling now. I'm going to wait till I get my $2 billion price tag. And this is a way for me to have leverage to, have a place to play for the next 3 years while we continue to wait on him. Everybody's got to wait on him until he gets his price.
Right.
That's not good for St. Pete. It's not good for Tampa. It's not good for Orlando. It's not good for other owners. I think they're tired of waiting. And now it's just going to come into more of a pissing match and see how much MLB can force him to sell the team. Shocking that it's come to this.
It's such a freaking mess.
Braves at Fulton County and Marlins Joe Robbie were extremely hot for decades. Yeah, they were. But I'd say people showed up, but actually they didn't. Trey Hendrickson or TJ Watts, make a move, Bucks. Our time is now. Ooh.
Man, I don't know. Those guys are so expensive.
They're really expensive. You got to give up a ton of capital to get them.
Yeah.
But they're also key pieces that would they would be your Simeon Rice.
TJ Watt's a free agent next year. He's not signed, and him and the Steelers are very, very, very far apart on a new deal.
Yeah, I think as the cap goes up, it's just these numbers are so big. Percentage-wise, they're probably the same as they were 5 years ago, but they just because the cap's gone up so much and continues to go up, and that's what the agents are looking at. They're like, hey, cap's going to be another $100 million in the next 5 years of this contract, so let's get the numbers up. And they're right.
But you guys out there who want the Bucs to sign a high-dollar defensive end or pass rusher, edge rusher, whatever you want to call him, don't forget, you're about to have to pay Mike again. You're about to have to pay Baker again. Gedecke's up. He's going to make a little pretty penny.
Yep.
You got to have enough money to go around. And
they've got $38 million in cap space last I checked. So they can get some stuff done.
Spread it around.
Lonnie says, aren't they supposed to start repairing the roof at the start of hurricane season?
Yeah.
Yep. September is when I heard they're supposed to start putting the roof up. But that's when they'll have it in stock. They're getting it assembled or shipped from Germany, assembled in China, Temu to Tampa.
Going to FedEx it to Tampa one panel at a time. By the way, hurricane season starts in 3 days. June 1st is the official first day of hurricane season. So get your hurricane hunting licenses because we can go hunting hurricanes.
Y'all better hope for a major trop remodel and 15-year extension. Building is already there and being repaired. Otherwise, it's Orlando soon.
Come on, B.
Go to Baltimore in mid-July. Super hot. Yeah, it's hot everywhere. And yet we still play baseball.
Thanks a lot, Al Gore.
Yeah, because we don't play a lot of day games. They're just few and far between. Okay, so you play a couple day games and it's hot. Stop bitching. And not a lot of people are going to go. If Major League Baseball wants to prioritize getaway games during the day over nighttime games because of travel, I get it. Then fine. They know that the crowds are going to be less. It's just the way it is.
Do we really need getaway games like that when all the teams are on airplanes now? Like back in the day when they were all on buses over here on the East Coast, I get it, but
it was mandatory, right?
Is that really a big deal with everybody? Unless you're flying from one coast to another, I don't think that's a huge ordeal. I'm not doing it. So
clearly, if you're going to do a getaway game, you're just look at the Rays yesterday at 1:00 in Tampa in almost June. There's not going to be a whole lot of fans. You're going to sacrifice that, but it's 81 games. You're not supposed to fill the stadium for every single game. That's just not doable, especially it's just not. And that's okay. Baseball, 81 games. It's not meant to have every seat sold out for 81 games. You need enough to make enough money to pay the players. And they have more than enough, even at Steinbrenner Field, to do that with all the other revenue streams that they have. So let's not get it twisted. Just because there's few empty seats doesn't mean the quote doesn't work. It's just life.
You got to take it all
these days in this economy.
You got to take it all together. You can't just do one game at a time and say it's not working.
Exactly. Like 33 of 37 sellouts. Oh, see, it's not working. Like I said, And then you haven't taken me up on the bet, Socratic bloke or whatever you guys, you blowhards about the attendance. You give me $100 for every sellout, I'll give you $100 for every non-sellout. I'm up big time. Pay me. But you don't want to take that bet, do you? Loud mouth. Nope, you don't. No, we can't get an NBA team, nor do we want one. Bucks, Rays, Bolts.
No.
Daniel Rivera says Orlando now is what Tampa Bay was back for the mid-'80s and through the mid-'90s. Tampa Bay used a pawn to get better deals for existing teams back in their home markets. Orlando is the bitch now. You're right. That's exactly what they are. You're the one. You're the hottie shaking that booty in a teabag bikini, and yeah. And then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're coming to Tampa Bay. We're coming to St. Petersburg," says the White Sox. No, we're not. They even turned the clock back in the Chicago Assembly or the Illinois State House because the deadline passed. Somebody got up on the clock and went, "No, it didn't." In the most Illinois political thing ever. They said, "No, let's push it back 5 minutes and vote again." Yeah. No. And so, yeah. And then the Giants did it to Tampa Bay. And that was the one that was so egregious that Namoli sued baseball. And that's why we got our team. So that's what Orlando is. You're leverage now. You're the hot leverage girl. That's all you are. Enjoy it. B says, JP, TikTok, Instagram, Fortnite, Minecraft. The kids don't care. The 70-year-olds are dying. Baseball in bad shape and needs to be in tourist areas, tourists and gambling, replacing fan bases. Again, where is the data, B, that says, the Griswolds from Peoria are going to come to Orlando, and after they spend $5,000 at Disney, they got enough money left to go to the ballpark. And they spent the entire day at Disney in the heat, and now we're going to run home, shower, and go out to a ball game.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
And we've discussed before, yeah, it's all tourists. There's no locals that care about this crap in Orlando.
Yeah.
The locals hate the tourists.
Exactly. And you talk about traffic. Oh, traffic, you can't get into St. Petersburg. Try anywhere in Orlando at 5 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock at night. Yeah, disaster. On the field, the Rays are doing okay. That's right. Why don't we talk about that, guys?
Yeah.
I want us to talk about this. Jeremy says, locally, it makes no sense for Stu to have not moved forward with the stadium. He could have sold the franchise for more with the brand new stadium while keeping the land deal around the stadium. He doesn't have the money, as you've mentioned. Number two, many prospective buyers have told him they weren't interested in the stadium in St. Pete. That's it. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for common sense. Yes, nobody buying the team, and I've told you this for 2 years. Nobody buying the team wants to build in St. Pete. Why would you? Why would you? Why would you put if you had a choice? Why would you put your big real estate development baseball team where you need 81 games filled or close to it in a part of the market that for 27 years has not supported it? It's a failed location. Like, what is the point of that? Nobody even talks about the obvious. That's why there hasn't been a sale. And that's why he didn't have the money to put it through, because he had to give so much to the partners that he screwed over in the deal, allegedly. When can Franco come back? I don't think we need
Good question.
They got to pay him, though. They still got to pay him. That deal still, until he gets suspended or I guess found guilty or not guilty. That trial's coming up, I think, next week. Supposedly, it's been delayed so many times.
Yep.
Rick says Stu also hasn't denied the possibility of trading for Juan Soto or Aaron Judge. No, you didn't. Rick, come on, you're better than this. You got to write that in the right form. This is like password now. So, in the verbiage of today's article, how would we say this? Stu
hasn't not said he's not going to sign Soto and Judge while also remaining
Stu has not
looking for.
not
Non-committal.
dispelled the rumors that he's not interested in not signing Juan Soto or Aaron Judge. There we go.
While remaining non-committal.
While remaining non-committal.
So it's confusing headlines ever.
There is going to be a logjam in outfield once Palacios, DeLuca, and Mangum comes back. Think about what you just said there, Mike. Palacios, DeLuca, and Mangum. Where they've each had some moments. Does that really get you jazzed? The triumvirate of Palacios, DeLuca, and Mangum? No, not really. I mean, no, not really. Can Walmart buy the Rays, please?
Well, they got the money.
Yeah. Bucs Basement says, I'll say one thing about the Rays. If they want people to take them seriously, they have to start winning games when they're above 500. They were 27-26, lost. Now 28-27, can't go back to just 500. Well, you got to move forward. If you're going to make the playoffs, you got to be what, 8 to 10 games above 500. About
Probably,
that.
yeah.
Danny Boy Kane says, I had Joey Johnston on my podcast last year at McDivitt's previewing the USF game, and I have to tell you, he's a great, great guy. Very good hearing from him. Yeah, I'm sorry the connection sucks so bad today because we love Joey. He does a great job. Very knowledgeable. And like he says, he used to cover baseball. I used to cover high school baseball back in the day for the Tampa Tribune. I used to love reading about our high school baseball players, and now you can't. There's no place to do that anymore, unfortunately.
Not in the newspaper, that's for sure.
Nope, the Times doesn't cover it. There is no Tampa Tribune anymore. Man, if we only had a website where we could pay people to cover all the local sports that need to be covered.
How amazing would that be?
But the dumpster dive with Kyle Gibson guy who isn't even good enough to get on the Orioles team this year, that's quite the choice. Well, I don't know. It's a no risk thing, so whatever. And if they can resurrect his career, then
I mean, his ERA is not going to get worse. 16.78. I don't think.
Nathan Elliott says, just read an article that said DeSantis proclaimed we are not taking your tax dollars at the state level to do any stadiums. And further stated, it's just not going to happen. Well, they could donate state land. That's not taking your state dollars. And that's obviously would be hugely important in getting a new stadium deal done. Mike H., are we allowed to mention Brody? Yes, you are. Yes. We
JP was on with Brody.
Yeah, I went on Brody's show, and he's going to come on my show. Danny Boy says, key out of conference game for FSU September 13th at Canes football at Hard Rock. Yeah, that's going to be a good game. They played with Miami for 3 quarters, as I recall. So they can do it. You never know with Miami. That Cristobal, he can absolutely
and then
piss away a game like nobody.
I was gonna say, he'll confuse you with his calls, almost like Kevin Cash is doing right now.
Jeremy says, amazing how far USF has fallen. Used to beat UCF 72-10. That game was considered a joke, not a rivalry. No coach will ever love that team as much as Levitt did. Amen, brother. Amen. Never should have fired him. Jeremy also says Littell could be traded. Bring Boyle up. Agree. Rays need a big bat. Remember, we had Eloy Jimenez, another failed experiment. Of course, we do all the cheap things. We'll try to resurrect anybody. But guess what? It doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work with hitters. Rick says, Mike H. Brody's making a video about himself making a video of JP.
Well, he's not going to not make a video of him not making of himself.
I'm going to dispel the rumors that I've not made a video with Brody. That actually is correct. Robert Williams says it was hotter than Pistol and SRO. I saw a couple of gingers' noses melting.
Oh, no.
It was hot yesterday. It was. Mike H. says it's fun watching the Rays now. Defense, pitching, offense, and coaching. They have a chance to do something this year. Well, I mean, yeah, over the last 9 games, they've looked good. But it's been a lot of inconsistency this year. They've been inconsistently consistent, to be consistent with today's verbiage. Well, we're really bad. JP, is the Twin sale affecting the Rays sale? Yes, absolutely 100%. The Twins are trying to get 1.7 billion when they have no takers. And we had having a brain fart right now. Who was our guest we had? No, I'm just completely. I hate when this happens. Matt. We had somebody in talking about the Twins sale, and we and they were doing their due diligence, but they found out that I think there's like 450 or 500 million dollars in debt on the team. So that's hard. I don't think there's any debt on this Rays team, or at least there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any debt. All he does is make profit every year, and he paid $50 million for the team. So of his contribution. So I can't believe there's not any debt. I don't think there's any debt on this team. What else we got here? Cosell Monday Night Football, absolutely.
Yep.
The grassy knoll. Of course, there was a grassy knoll.
Still
in
there.
Dallas. Still there.
And you can drive through. You can drive through downtown at any day of any month of the year, and you will see a crowd of people on the grassy knoll in Dealey Plaza, taking pictures of the school book depository, the red court out, like that whole area. It is still every single day in Dallas. There is a slew of tourists and locals that want to go see it. I mean, it's crazy. They don't have the X on the pavement anymore, though. They took that off. There used to be a big X on the pavement where he was shot in the lane on the road. And they removed that. I'm sure somebody will put it back, because usually they remove it and just like a citizen or somebody will go paint it back on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I highly suggest you go there, because when you stand behind the fence on the grassy knoll and you see where he was shot, that's the easiest shot in the history of shots. Like, you can't miss that shot. It's literally what, 20, 30 yards,
maybe.
If that.
Yeah, maybe.
If that. That's how small the area is. As Kevin Costner said in the movie, it was a turkey shoot. It was a turkey shoot.
Such a great movie. Not very realistic, but it was a pretty great movie.
Yeah, we went back and watched that. That made Ashley sit through the 3 hours of the Oliver Stone JFK movie. But it's very entertaining and very informative. I think it's pretty spot on. You don't think so?
Oh, well, I mean, a lot of it is, yes, but it was certainly
the court scenes with the late great Jim Garrison.
A lot of that was
the only one to bring an actual suit forward for the murder of John F. Kennedy, that we now know was committed by our CIA.
And how quickly did Jim Garrison get squashed in all of that?
A lot of people got squashed.
Yep.
You want to talk? Go look at the train of murders of the people that were associated with and witness to JFK.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like
almost as bad as the Clintons
list. What else we got? Rick says, JP, I got the email about the top 50 players as well. You're not that special. The ballot has a few names at each position. You can only pick 2. Well, there is a media panel, of which I am on. There's a fans panel, and I believe there's a players panel as well. Each are going to count a third, I believe, as it was.
What about Steve Young?
Steve Young?
Yeah.
One of the original Buccaneers. He only played for one season, so
I know. Before he went out they shipped him
even
off.
Though we love Steve, I don't think he's going to make the cut. Good friend of the show.
All right. What about Rondé Barber? Has anybody ever heard of him? Think he's going to be on there?
I think he'll make the squad. I don't know. I think he'll make the squad. John Hill says, should coaches and staff take part in the handshake line after hockey playoff of games? According to the Panthers POS head coach, no, they only want to be on TV if they participate in the line. What, the coaches?
Yeah, did you hear about that?
No.
Oh, so where did I see this? Crap, I forgot where I saw this. I know what he's talking about, though, with the Panthers and the Hurricanes. Rod Brindamore went to Panthers coach.
Paul Maurice.
Paul Maurice went to Paul Maurice right after the game ended and said, hey, keep your coaches out of the handshake line. Let's let the players do this.
So Brindamore went to Maurice and said that?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Unless I got it backwards, but I'm pretty sure it was Brindamore that suggested that.
Well, it's always been tradition for the coaches to do that as well.
I know.
So why are you breaking tradition, Rod Brindamore or Paul Maurice?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like that. I think the coaches should be part of that.
I do too. I don't know what.
I think Paul Maurice should have to look every team in the eye.
Right.
And say, yeah, I ordered the code red on your star players.
You ordered the code red.
Yeah. You're damn right I did. Well, you don't want to go out there and face the music, Paul Maurice?
Let's see if I can find the reason here. It wasn't out of disrespect. Quite the contrary. The handshake line at the end of a playoff series is one of hockey's sacred traditions. No matter how physical the series was before, one team eventually prevailed. Maurice thinks the handshakes are part of what makes the game great. He's all for it happening. He said he has repeatedly throughout this postseason said that he thinks coaches shouldn't be a part of it, reiterating that after the Panthers eliminated the Hurricanes on Wednesday night, even going so far as, so it was Maurice that went to Brindamore, convincing Rod Brindamore to sit it out himself. In that moment, Maurice said nothing could take the attention off the players on the two teams that just played a series. Well, the coaches are part of that too.
I think he's trying to hide.
Yeah, I don't like that.
He's trying to hide.
Yeah.
Well, I
don't agree with that at all.
I don't agree with
Unless
that.
you're ashamed of how you're playing.
Yeah, ashamed of how you're directing your players to be thugs and take out the stars on the other team. Maybe you don't want to face the. Maybe you don't want to face the music from some of the players that your players hurt.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's see if this happens in the Stanley Cup Finals when Edmonton beats Florida. So you going to want to skip the handshake line then?
God, I hope so.
I've already buried the stars, by the way. I've already buried the stars.
I was going to say, what happened there?
Yeah, they lost. They're going to lose tonight. It's just bad, man. This is the Stars team that we watched lose 7 straight games going into the playoffs. That's exactly who we have right now. It's just bad. It's okay. I love my Stars. They're just not playing.
Daniel Rivera says city leaders have previously said cost to salvage the interior of the structure could be up to $30 million. It's going to be way more than that.
I mean, we only paid $25 million to build Texas Stadium back in 1971. That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, I think the Trop itself, when it was originally built, was like $90 million or something.
Was that in 88, late 80s, right? 89?
Yeah. When was that? Yeah, late 80s. So it's designed in the early 80s and finished in the late 80s, I believe. The Suncoast Dome.
It opened March 3rd, 1990.
1990. Okay. Steinbrenner experiment is helpful because of the heat, humidity, and rain. Yeah, well, it's not. I mean, we already know that the Tarpons play there every year, and they average like 4 to 6 rainouts. If the Bucs are to win now, if they like Sean Tucker, trade Rashad White for Trey Hendrickson. He is not happy. The Bengals need help at running back. Not sure if I like it, but everyone wins. I mean, yeah, would we trade Rashad White for Trey Hendrickson? Hell yeah. Of course we would.
But why would Cincinnati do that?
Yeah, why would Cincinnati do that?
Why would they do that?
I mean, I like Rashad White. I think he's a good player, and I think he's really good in our system, and I think he's valuable. And I don't want to see Bucky, I think a lot of people get caught up in who starts and all that stuff. I just don't want to see Bucky getting 30 carries a game. I think that's he won't be around in January when you really need him. I want him getting, fifth. I would say maybe 20 around 20 touches a game, 20 to 25 touches a game.
That's a lot these days.
Yeah.
That's a lot these days.
But then, you got to then Rashad White gets 10 to 15.
Right.
Sean Tucker, and one of those guys is going to get injured during the season, so you're going to need all three. By the end of the season, you don't want Bucky having 300 carries. You don't want that.
And here's the problem: if Rashad White doesn't re-sign with the team, or they don't offer him, or whatever, if he does not come back, that means either you're going with a tandem of Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving, which I like a Sean Tucker Rashad White tandem way better than, and nothing against Sean Tucker, but. Or they're going to have to find another Bucky Irving in the draft next year, a rookie that can come in and handle 15 to 20 carries a game. And that's, to me, seems like the simpler thing is just to keep Rashad White. He's not going to demand a ton of money.
No.
And just keep the wide receiver or the running back room in place.
And people are freaking out. He said this might be his last year. Okay, if it is, it is. But go out there and play this year, play your ass off, and he will. He's not one of those guys. He's going to play hard because he knows his next contract depends on it. Orlando fans are comparing a 41-game NBA season and a 17-game MLS home season to the Rays attendance averages. I know. I've been getting this all from these Orlando people all the time. And it's like you can't even – you're middle of the pack in your MLS attendance for 17 games. For 17 games. And you only have two male pro teams. And they have the Orlando Pride, which they really don't support, by the way. They don't get hardly anything. And yet, you're so certain that you're going to put 2 million people in a ballpark in Orlando for Major League Baseball. If you do it, great. But, it'll only be for a couple of years with the new stadium.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to take a break and come back, finish up with comments and get a couple other things in.
Before we get to a break, JP, need to show this for Nathan because we told him to do it. He sent us a picture of Pierre.
Oh, look at Pierre.
Great Pierre.
Oh,
wanted to make sure we threw that up there. And we also have a funny meme floating around. Speaking of the NHL playoffs, there's a funny meme floating around Dallas right now. I wish I'd have thought of that.
That's good.
Oh, Dak Ottinger.
Dak in the playoffs.
Dak Ottinger.
Dak in the playoffs. Ottinger's like, I wish I was making $60 million a year.
Jesus, right?
To win one playoff game.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll finish up on all the great comments here. I got a couple other Bucs notes I want to get to, and maybe even a thought or two on the NBA. Some good. I mean, these games are not interesting, by the way.
No.
They're not dramatic in any way, shape, or form. The Knicks Pacers has been a little bit, but wow, the Thunder are really good, and they are rolling. Hey, we are brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any needs in plumbing or AC or anything mechanical around the house, they can do it. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Again, all you want is an honest contractor, right? Somebody that's going to come out and give you a fair shake. If you have issues with your AC, they will do that. Get your AC tuned up now before the summer. Make sure everything's in working order. That might save you a lot of money from getting a new unit. If your drain gets backed up or something like that, ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Going through a medical emergency without health care insurance can cause you to go into crippling debt. In most scenarios, people are forced to either break into their retirement funds or worse, they're forced to file for bankruptcy. The sad truth is that health care insurance is crucial in today's day and age. Look, I get it. Many of you think you're never going to get sick and health insurance is really expensive. Well, we can help you out with that. Depending on your income, we can find great plans and huge discounts. God forbid you get cancer, a car accident. It could literally ruin you financially for life. So make the call and find out. Even though the open enrollment period is over, you may have some qualifying life events that can help you get covered right away. It can be very complicated, a very intimidating process, but we can help. Go to our website and check out all the 5-star reviews about our helpful agents. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. It's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on this Thursday. Brought to you by the great folks at Don'tGoUncovered.com. Don'tGoUncovered.com is where you need to go. Make sure you have your health insurance. 800-669-1505. They have deals up to zero premium. Just give them some of your financial information. See if you can get a subsidy in the Affordable Care Act, and they are experts at that. So don't try to go through that website yourself. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call them at 800-669-1505 and see what they can find you on the health insurance market. I've been with them for 5 years, and it's been absolutely fantastic. They take care of all that work for me. Those websites can be really, really tough to deal with, and then you'll get your insurance at a very low cost. 800-669-1505. Don'tGoUncovered.com. I was perusing Twitter in the break there, and as a lot of people going crazy about the fact that 4 games have not sold out in Tampa. Are you serious?
I don't get the point of that.
33 of them have sold out.
Yeah. Talk about those.
And many of those would have been, you could have sold 20, 30, 40,000 tickets, in the weekends when the weather was nice. So I don't get what the point of it is, to be quite honest, but I see some of the pushback.
It's just detractors. That's all it is. They got to find something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked me about Keyshawn, top 50 list. Hell to the no.
Please no. Thank you. He's not top 50 anything except jackass.
That's a hard no for me. He was here for 2 years, 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons, and then talked his way out the next season while they're trying to win, repeat as Super Bowl champions, quitting on your team because John Gruden yelled at you. Aww.
And then came to Dallas and scared everybody to death here with Big Tuna.
Yeah. Yeah. How did they go in Dallas?
Not well. It never did.
Yeah.
He never endears himself to a fan base or his teammates.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the original T.O.
Yes, he was indeed. So by the way, the Rays back on the road tonight at Houston. So we'll see if they can continue their winning ways. On whose?
What's happening?
Who's that? That's mine. Sorry. my Twitter was open.
Like what the hell?
John Kennedy yelling at somebody. God, is that guy hilarious? Love that guy. Hilarious. All right, back to the comments. Yes, Franco's going to court this week or next week. That should be interesting. So if he gets reinstated, what are the Rays going to do? Can they trade him? Not with that contract.
You got to play him, right?
I don't know what you do with him. I mean, if he's found not guilty,
are you just going to eat the contract and not play him?
well, that's not happening.
No,
that's not happening.
That's what's happening right now, and they don't want to continue that.
Mike H says, I saw many times fans from Philly, Baltimore, New York, Boston, everywhere plan a trip to the beaches and watch 2 to 3 games of their hometown team. Yeah, they come here. I mean, some of them do, absolutely. But to
You're not going to have a stadium full of that.
Yeah, if you're going to base your entire attendance on that, I mean, yeah, I know some people do. Anecdotally, some of the people do. But the only data I've seen on that is this St. Pete Visitors Board did they ask everybody, why are you here? Where'd you come from? They do all those surveys.
Right.
And they said 2% or 2% of people come for baseball. And that doesn't even mean that could be minor league baseball too.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of that is spring training. So specific to the Rays, probably 1% of the people that come may come for Rays games, which, I don't know what that translates to, a few 100,000.
Like how many people do you think would that are planning a trip? They're trying to decide where to go as a family. And they're, let's say Orlando's on for one of the parks or whatever is on that list. Do you think having a baseball team there is going to put that over the top when they're all voting on where to go? Hey, we have to go to Orlando so we can go watch a Dreamers game. No, that's not going to happen.
I mean, will there be some bleed over? Sure, absolutely. But if you're counting on that as being the main part of your ticket sales, yeah, I don't think so. No. And again, the parks are so damn expensive. How much money are you going to have left over to go spend? And taking a team or a family of 4 or a team of 5 to a baseball game ain't cheap.
I know. I got that many. I got 6.
And it's sure as hell ain't, after you get done paying for a park, $150, it's a couple grand a day. And now I'm going to go spend another $400 or $500 to take my family of 4 to a baseball game.
Nope.
And they don't even have Harry Potter rides.
No.
I mean, come on. It's a baseball game, for God's sakes. I don't even get Snow Wharf's, Snow White's, Snow Wharf's,
Snow Wharf's,
and the dwarf's little mine thing going on there. I don't even get that. No Space Mountain?
No. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yep. But yeah, we already read that one. Daniel says, why is Florida hockey thriving and baseball isn't? Simple. It's because both teams are very good and very well run. The same cannot be said for baseball. Absolutely, Daniel. I've said this for years. Both the Marlins and the Rays could not have done it worse. The Marlins played for their first, 15 years in a refab baseball stadium that was just awful. It just wasn't in a great location, and it was a terrible place to watch baseball. Absolutely terrible. Outdoors, terrible. Just absolutely nothing inspiring about that stadium whatsoever.
Not made for baseball.
Yeah, and they had an owner that went out and won a World Series and then sold off all his players. And then they've had ownership groups that don't spend any money. That's where they're at right now. Then they build a beautiful park, but they put it in a terrible location.
Hell, they won 2 World Series.
Yeah, they won 2 World Series. And we what have we done here? Well, we had a terrible first owner in Vince Namoli. We started with a terrible stadium, an awful stadium that does not do anything to inspire you when you go to it. Yes, it's air conditioned. Woohoo, great. That's not what people go to baseball for. We want to go air conditioning.
So your local Chili's.
Right.
Your local Chili's is air conditioned too.
It's not 1960 where the motels have air conditioning. Yeah. No, okay.
Cable TV.
Right, cable TV. Air conditioning. No, we got so an uninspiring, terrible stadium in a horrible location and 2 terrible owners. When it comes to, at least, yes, Stu Sternberg at least made us a winner, and he gets full credit for that. But it's not just about winning these days. If you got to have a product, you have to have a good stadium. You have to have something that the the fan base feels good about supporting and makes it easy to go to. This is not 1980. If you win, they will come. No, it doesn't work that way anymore. There's too much competition for your attention and your disposable income dollar. You got to make it easy for folks. It's got to be close, at least within a 30 to 40 minute drive. It's got to be, relatively easy to get in and out of. The experience has to be good. You got to want to support the owner. The prices can't be too high. There's a lot of things that go into it, and we fail on almost every level of that here in Tampa Bay, the way we've done it. So when people look at the attendance and they say, "Oh, the Rays," I go, "Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right." But we haven't done it very well.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys and all your comments. God, we didn't even have time to get to all of your comments, but we really appreciate you guys. Thanks to Joey Johnston for joining us today. We're going to try to catch up with Scott Hamilton at the SEC meetings at some point today or tomorrow, so we'll get his take on that. Timmy, appreciate you. Go Rays tonight, and
go Stars.
Go Stars. Go Stars as well. And we hate the stinking dirty Panthers. See you tomorrow.